co-host and co-founder of All Things Covered, Bryant McFadden, is in the building. Round of applause.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Is that a heavyweight championship belt?
You go, boy.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag, I need more. Hey, 3P, Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on the low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam.
You see this face? You see that face? It's time for the Draft Super Show! Sports Talk, baby. Let's get it. Oh, yeah, Steve, give me the drops. Drop me up, baby. Drop me up, baby. Drop me up, drop me up.
Let's go.
Yes, the dynamic duo has yet again returned. We have the Draft Super Show. As promised, it's
You go, boy.
You go, boy. And you know who that is? That's Mongo. Yes.
What's up, everybody?
Yes. We got Steve on the board. Steve Franchise on the board. Yes, and also a special surprise guest, Bryant McFadden, will be here. He is here. Yes. At the halfway mark, around the 30 or 40-minute mark, my main man, B-Mac. I get to call him B-Mac. You guys can. Mongo can too.
I picked a great day to skip work. This is great. It's a great day to be here.
Yes. So Draft Super Show, the NFL Draft came and went. It was another movie. Round of applause for all the networks. ESPN, Fox, Fox Sports, all that good stuff. Like they did their thing. And also, before we start, round of applause for all these subscribers. Thank you guys on all the channels. You're blowing the pot up. It's episode 45. It'll be 100 before you know it. But you see the hats, you see the beards, you see the merch. Grab the merch, by the way. It's time for Sports Talk. So this is the Draft Super Show. We do it every year. And so Mongo, let's dive right into it.
All right.
Let's kick things off. First round, quarterbacks. So, as predicted, can I get a CM Punk telling me when I'm telling lies? It's funny.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Golly. You asked me in rapid fire, so you think all 6 quarterbacks are going? I'm like, yes.
Correct.
Yes. I said they'd all go. Caleb goes to the Bears, as promised.
Pipe bomb.
JJ Purdy, he goes to the Vikings, as promised. Daniels goes to the Washington Commodores with Lionel Richie. Bo Nix goes to the Denver Broncos, I believe, as promised.
Correct.
Drake May goes to the Patsies over in New England. But we gotta start here, bro. Where do we begin? We can't not talk about Penix going to the Falcons. I'll hold off my pipe bomb, but all the rookie quarterbacks, Mongo, who's in the best position to succeed early? And who do you think is going to be on the show?
Yeah.
give me another one of those.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be on the struggle bus early on in the game out of this amazing generational class of quarterbacks?
I'm getting it early. Yeah. I'm getting out of the way early. I love it. That's my music. I'm up to bat.
Hell yeah.
Caleb Williams is clearly in the best position here, and rightfully so. I mean, right off the bat, by virtue of going first, right? Most talented, inherently, he should be if he's going first.
Yes.
So if it was a complete vacuum, if you were starting a completely blank franchise with all 6, Caleb Williams should be in first in this conversation. So you would need one of the other 5 programs to be significantly better than Chicago to knock him off the perch in this question, right? Just basic math right there. And not only is that not true, Chicago's in really good shape over there.
That's true.
That's true. Adunze 8 picks later definitely helps. They have a clutch receiver room now, with him, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore there.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Kmet can do his thing helping out at the tight end. They have a couple running backs who look good behind him there.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think Caleb Williams is in pretty good position. My opinion on McCarthy as
You mean Purdy?
JJ Purdy.
JJ Purdy.
Yeah,
JJ Purdy.
Until the Vikings play the Niners and they're both active on their rosters, I don't believe they're not the same person.
Savage.
He's ready. He was ready.
Savage.
He had his finger on the button already.
He knew as soon as I started talking about JJ McCarthy, it wasn't going to last long. I can't make it long talking about this guy. But hey, listen, the Vikings are in great shape, and I mean, credit where credit's due. This guy has annihilated me in fantasy leagues for many years, but Aaron Jones is a fantastic safety blanket.
He's still running Dallas.
For anyone to have.
He's still running Dallas.
That's right. Sorry to bring up that name. That's my fault.
Triggered. No, put it away. Put it away.
He has that one already,
put
too.
it away.
The bingo card is going to get filled up so fast today.
Keep that same energy.
There it is. So I think that one. And then, again, I really, and we're going to talk winners and losers later, but
for sure.
I love what Denver did with this draft. I like what Denver's done in general. He's got a good coach there. The defensive backs in the AFC West are not the most treacherous, especially with Kansas City having to move on, and a couple Vegas you got to throw on with what they have in the box. So Bo Nix, I think, could have considering most people have him as a distant 6 of 6 in this situation. I think he could be sneaky. I think there could be he could sneakily move up on a couple of these quarterbacks.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's the Draft Super Show with your two favorite sports talk hosts. We're on the merch.
Yahtzee.
We're on the shirts. We're on the logo. Yeah. Give me some Yahtzees. Give me some Bailey Yahtzees. Give me some Bailey Yahtzees.
Yahtzee.
Yeah, for sure.
There it is, the good stuff. The good Yahtzee. We have company coming.
That's top shelf Yahtzee right there. Top shelf Yahtzee right there.
Oh, the best.
But with these quarterbacks, man, these generational quarterbacks. The Bears have done a great job, like you mentioned,
For sure.
of just complete Jenny Jones makeover, complete Ricky Lake makeover of their offenses. Give me a Dom DeMarco for that, for the references. The 90s kids know what I'm talking about.
Dom DeMarco.
But yeah, with Swift and with Roma Dunze, like you mentioned, with Keenan Allen, that room is so loaded with front-end talent now to give Caleb a chance to succeed. And with the elements being the way they are in Chicago, playing all those home games, he needs as much firepower as possible. I believe the offensive line is going to still tell the story. I don't know if they're quite there yet. Expect their first-round pick to be a more help along the trenches
For sure.
come next year. But love what they've done and what they've at least put him in a position to succeed. And I think that he'll be who they thought Justin Fields was. Who obviously moved on to the Steelers. But you look at the other quarterbacks, nothing's changed here. Like give me some tell me when I'm telling lies here. Nothing's changed with JJ.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
With JJ Montana or JJ Purdy. Like I know the Vikings are, and O'Connell and their front office is going to sell you that this guy is the best thing since sliced bread. But again, you're talking about a guy, I mentioned it in episodes past, he threw one touchdown pass in the fourth quarter the entire season last year. And
Tell me when
again,
I'm telling
Michigan
lies.
team was loaded, a lot of first rounders, a lot of talent on that side, and Harbaugh got an NFL job from it. But I see mid. I don't see a guy that's a difference maker and a force multiplier. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'll wear his jersey if I'm wrong, but I don't see much there. Drake May, I mean, we got to hit that right there. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, the Giants were trying to trade into that spot like their lives depended on it. I mean, there were a number of teams that were trying to move up to that spot, and the Patriots were just like, no, we're gonna stay pat here, and this is our guy. This is our guy. And I see Daniel Jones 2.0. I do, or 5.0. But they believe that he has some traits that they compared him to Josh Allen, which I don't see. Really? Yeah, I know they're big. They're both tall, white, and athletic. But so what? I mean, I think there's some savage there. I think that the buck kind of stops there.
Savage.
But I see a guy that is going to be serviceable if they get the offense going and click it in the right direction. But yeah, I think I'm with you. I think Caleb's in the best position to succeed from the first round of quarterbacks.
With how often Drake May plays are going to end in a sack next year, he has more in common with Jacksonville's Josh Allen than with Buffalo's Josh Allen. That is not an even remotely fair comparison to put May, because he's probably in the worst position. I mean, that team has a long, long way. Like, cool, we got Drake May. Now let's fix the other 52 guys while also figuring out if this coach is anything other than just another guy who was riding Bill Belichick's coattails, right?
Right.
We have no idea what's about to happen in New England, and now you're just saying, here you go, Drake May. We like you because you pretty much had to run for your life in North Carolina, right? You were just improvising down there. Let's do the same thing here. I mean, they probably are picking very high again next year.
Yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Everything what you said, 100%, man. And I think I'm excited to see what. With Daniels, I'm excited and scared at the same time. Daniels in Washington, what that looks like, you know what I mean? Because again, Dan Quinn is a culture builder through and through, and he is actually a really great fit for what Washington wants to do. They want to shift the brand in a completely different direction. They want a new stadium on top of that, and they want to change things for the better. And what Daniels does now. With Terry McLaurin and with some of the weapons they've got over there. They had a solid draft too. I mean, they pretty much plucked every Cowboy free agent they could with Fowler and Biotish and Dorrance Armstrong. I mean, I think they're trying to get Emmitt Smith to come out of retirement. It's ridiculous.
I mean, they've watched them. They know what they're capable of. I don't blame them there. But kind of to your point, also. They basically are Daniels is being handed the keys, similar in New England. And I mean, you take him second overall, and you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a fun draft, right? We're gonna up the O-line. We're gonna go find a tight end that you've actually heard of, because when they finally took one, I said who. And they get to the second pick, and they take defensive tackle Johnny Newton. Like I know we're staying on the quarterbacks for now, but you got to look at the rest of the draft to see what these guys have gotten themselves into. It's very clear from that second pick that the Commanders have no intention of helping this poor guy. He will survive on his own, or he will perish on his own.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel for sure. I think Bryant McFadden just texted me. He's coming on very soon, very shortly. So I got to get this pipe bomb. Give me some CM Punk pipe bombs. Get them going. Pipe bomb. Keep it going. I'm gonna go get some trolleys. Goodness gracious. This pipe bomb is brought to you by Bravery Studios, of course. Bravery Studios. Bravery up! Lovely Garfield, New Jersey. U-Goboy merch. Grab yourself the U-Goboy merch. And all things covered with Bryant McFadden and Patrick Peterson. You're going to see one of those guys very soon. And you'll see the other guy very soon as well in the weeks to come. That's awesome. But goodness gracious. What the hell are the Falcons doing? Like, they gave Kirk Cousins $100 million. You're giggling. I'm giggling too. Savage. I don't know what... And miss me with the nonsense that their GM is trying to pull, saying that, listen, in 4 to 5 years, Penix could be our guy. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, bro, man, oh man, like, what are you serious? Like, you can't possibly be serious. They've got a quarterback controversy that they didn't even realize it. I sent you the tweet of the picture of Willie Beeman and Dennis Quaid from Any Given Sunday, side by side. Savage. That's going to be the Atlanta Falcons quarterback room. Savage. Give me a couple more of those. Right? Savage. So, again, Atlanta,
tell me when I'm telling lies. What you could have done with that
pick, rather than reach for a 4 to 5 year project, in your words, just using your words, you could have got an impact player to help at pass rush, to fortify an already good offensive line, another weapon to go with Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. You could have done something to help the Falcons win the NFC South this year and make the playoffs this year and compete for a wide open NFC this year outside of the Cowboys, 49ers, and Eagles and Lions. You could have done that. But no, you got a 4 to 5 year project quarterback with the 8th overall pick in the draft. Like, can I get a trash? Can I get a trash? It makes no sense. Their explanation doesn't make sense. And in the words of CM Punk, tell me when I'm telling lies. I don't know.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I just don't know what the hell you're doing with that pick.
If you have the number 1 and you decide, and you have Kirk Cousins, and you decide to make Caleb Williams your future, I don't like it, but I understand it. Right. I see the idea behind that. When you look at guys who have traditionally been the 3rd, 4th, 5th quarterback taken in a first round, it gets real dart throwy. And so the fact that you are hanging your long-term future on a guy who was drafted about the same spot that the likes of like Josh Rosen was drafted and like Christian Ponder was drafted. That's where we want to go.
Get those trashes going. Get those
our future.
Going. God almighty.
It doesn't make sense as a strategy, and then it makes even less sense when you see where you are in the context of the draft. Just zero sense to me.
We're talking like Jake Locker territory.
Yeah, that's exactly where you are.
You see what I'm saying?
100% where you are.
And again, your words, not ours. 4 to 5 years. You want to bank on that? You want to bank on long-term quarterback stock after you just paid your guy $100 million guaranteed?
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
It doesn't make sense. I don't care how they spin it. And again, I love Penix. I do. He was one of my guys that I really, again, a guy in the right situation, in the right system can thrive. And with all those weapons that I mentioned earlier, yeah, he can put up some numbers and he can do some damage, but you said it yourselves. In 4 to 5 years, we'll feel really good about this guy.
Right.
Why take him now?
Exactly.
It makes no sense. It doesn't, and they really dropped the ball with it.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I'm sure while I'm saying this, somebody is right now typing in the comments, Jordan Love, ? Aaron Rodgers, ? Steve Young, ? Yeah, I get that it's been done before. Beautiful.
Love you, Steve.
I get that it's been done before, but it's never been done in this generation, right? It's never been done in the social media world where 2 minutes later, somebody is complaining about something that was a good idea 2 minutes earlier. No one has the patience for this nowadays. No one in the franchise, nobody in the fan base. This is a terrible idea in this particular iteration of society we live in.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We both chose violence today. I gotta get that drop from Game of Thrones.
Savage.
Love you, Cersei. It's Mongolicious. It's You-Goboy. It's Steve on the boards.
You-Goboy.
Love you guys for tuning in. Super Draft Show. So
yes.
Again, Bryant McFadden will be on very soon. So as we patiently await his arrival, we got to talk about some major draft winners. And the first one I'm going to start here, and I'll reiterate this when B-Mac gets on. Round of applause for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, for sure.
Round of applause for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just going to keep saying it. Round of applause for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, baby. Give me some Bailey Yahtzees for that, man. They earned it. They just absolutely earned it. They completely remake their offensive line. They get Troy Fautanu from Washington, a guy I was praying was going to fall to the Cowboys.
That would have been nice.
That would have been lovely. And speaking of the devil, Mac, where you at? Co-host and co-founder of All Things Covered, Bryant McFadden is in the building. Round of applause.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Is that a heavyweight
That's
championship belt?
It's two belts. We're both wrestling nuts on this show, so we got to get the championship belts. We got the one Ric Flair won. We got the one that Cody Rhodes has right now, man. That's what we got.
Okay. I grew up a big time wrestling fan as well. I don't watch as much as I used to, but I grew up. I was a WCW guy.
Oh, WCW? Okay. All right. Cool. Who are your top two guys ever in WCW? Like guys that you just
ever.
Ric
Flair.
Get some Ric Flairs going.
And I'll say Sting.
Sting, yeah. There we go.
All right.
Lex Luger was dope as well.
Yes, he was. He was with both companies. So that's facts right there. I met both of those guys. So and both those guys, A1 guys right there. But Mac, thank you so much for pulling up, man. Round of applause one more time for this guy, man. Appreciate you for stopping by. We were just talking about our biggest draft winner. And you're going to like this. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. How could it not be your Steelers? Round of applause one more time for the Steelers. You guys knocked it out the ballpark. Fautanu, Frazier, Wilson out of North Carolina State. You guys knocked it out of the ballpark. You completely remade your offensive line. You guys have a dominant offensive line now, and I believe that you guys have taken a major step toward bridging the gap between the Ravens, although I think the gap wasn't even that big between you guys and Baltimore. Talk about the Steelers draft real quick, Mac, please.
Oh, man, I love it. I'm right there with you when you talk about just building in the trenches. That's significant. It was a huge need for the Pittsburgh Steelers doing so with Troy and getting Frazier in the second round. Both players have the same mentality. They have a sense of nastiness. That's something that's needed when you play in the trenches. These guys don't mind getting dirty. They don't mind punching you in the face first, and they don't mind punching you in the face last. That's the Steeler way. That's the Steeler mindset for such a long time. And they hit on those guys. I love Roman Wilson in the third round from Michigan as well. I think he's going to be a talented player for the organization, man. So from top to bottom, man, once again, because going back to last year's draft, which was Omar's his first draft, he hit on it. You look at some of those guys that played as a rookie that was big-time contributors. I can see the same thing happening with this rookie class.
Oh, yeah. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Mongo, you got any questions for B-Mac?
Yeah, so we also, before you got here, we were talking about the quarterbacks. And so the quarterbacks, they end up going, Williams, Daniels, May, Penix sneaks in there at 4, the order, McCarthy and Nix. Just talent-wise, is that how you had them, or were you surprised in the order they went?
My order was, the top 2 was the same, Caleb, Jaden, Dane. But I had Penix 3.
There with you.
Agreed.
And the reason why I had Penix 3 is if we're assessing and judging these quarterbacks on what they did in college, it's not even a discussion.
Facts.
The last 2 years, Michael Penix was a better quarterback than Drake May. No knock on Drake May because he played well, but Michael Penix was better.
Yeah.
Numbers backs my point. Michael Penix had a better, individually speaking, was better than J.J. McCarthy the last 2 years. So that's how I assess, the rankings. You know what I mean? So that's my ranking, but I think it all worked accordingly based on the consensus and what they thought and where Drake May went. Because I believe that the current process, Penix went into a better situation. He's not necessarily forced into act. He can learn from a professional like Kirk Cousins. He got talent around him, and this is an organization that they've been wanting consistent quarterback play for such a long time in Atlanta Falcons.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're here with Bryant McFadden, co-host and co-founder of All Things Covered, and two-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we were going to get more into our draft talk as well, but let's hit those quarterbacks one more time before we keep it going. We are both in lockstep with J.J. McCarthy. I see Brock Montana 5.0. So does Mongo. I see a guy that was.
Did you say Montana?
I see. Yes, Brock Montana. That's the nickname we have for Brock Purdy. Brock Montana. It's trolling. It's trolling at its finest. That's what we do on here.
Savage.
Or for the non-informed, Brock Purdy 5.0. That's what I see. I see a guy that was surrounded by Avengers. He was surrounded by a super team, and once he gets to the NFL, and that's not the case, or an abridged version of that case shows, you're going to see a guy that I think is just mid. I feel the same way about Brock Purdy. I don't think Brock Purdy is as great as 49er fans in particular. And part of the national media wants to make you believe. And coming into this draft process, they were shoving down J.J. McCarthy down our throats like it was a Frosted Flakes commercial. Like I just don't see him as being as great as national media and Mel Kiper and all the pundits want us to believe. What are your thoughts on McCarthy?
Hey, but think about this, guys. Every year they're pushing a narrative with a core.
Facts.
It's
Facts.
every year.
Facts.
And every year they're taking some leverage away from the quarterback. Let's go back to last year. Remember, they were kind of taking some spark away from C.J. Stroud with his Wonderlick or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
Said he did horrible.
Yeah.
Right? And you remember the guy that was pushing a lot last year was Will Levis. Will Levis was they were pushing. So this year, J.J. McCarthy became the prodigal son.
Savage. That's a savage.
Savage.
So, and also, J.J. McCarthy was a good quarterback. He was a good quarterback in college. But as you mentioned, he had so much around him. It wasn't like, J.J., win ball games. You got to go win this ball game. You got to go win this ball game. A guy like Jimmy Daniels, he had to win ball games.
Yeah.
LSU's defense was so bad. It was like every time they stepped out of the locker room before the game was in play, their defense already gave up 40 points. Yeah. They allowed north of 35 a game defensively. So if you're Jay Daniels, I got to score at least 38 or 40 to be in a position to win. Every game.
Yeah. That's
pressure. Michigan's defense wasn't giving up.
No.
Michigan's run game was outstanding. Offensive line was outstanding. So J.J. McCarthy, as you talked about the Avengers, I love that analogy because that's kind of what it was. Hand the ball off, make plays there, don't turn it over, we win. Point blank. Jay and Daniels, defense not going to give us anything.
Yeah.
So we got to score. We got to score every drive. And guess what? Their running game isn't as prolific as we've seen in years past for LSU. So Jaden Daniels has been the best runner back as well. So for all this, these discussions about Drake May should be the number 2 guy, no, man. I feel like, as I stated earlier, guys, when you're assessing after you're ranking guys, you got to do so what they've done in college. J.D. McCarthy played a lot of games. You can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
But a lot of the games they won, it was more about the others.
Yeah.
Don't turn it over. We win, JJ. You make a play here and there, we're going to run the football down the teeth of whoever it is we're playing against, and our defense will make plays.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Bryant McFadden coming in hot mic over there in Atlanta. You'll love to see it. We'll keep it going. We're gonna we'll get your feedback on our respective teams. As you know, Mac, long-term Dallas Cowboy fan. Can't get a how about them Cowboys? Yeah, how about them Cowboys? And Mongo, my man Mongo, is a New York Jet fan. So is there a JETS Jets back there somewhere? It's somewhere back there, but Mongo's a Jet fan. Hopefully, we know that.
Hopefully, this.
There we go. So yeah, both our teams coming in, we were talking about leading up to the draft process. Offensive line had to be a focus for both our teams. A big reason why Aaron Rodgers only played 4 plays was the offensive line. You had the number 1 ranked defense, but an offensive line that just did, and of course poor quarterback play and lack of depth at the quarterback as well. No chance to compete for a wild card spot. With Dallas, we had an aging offensive line, and I believe we had a little bit of an overrated offensive line because Tyler Biadasz, the drop-off from Travis Frederick to Biadasz was a lot more steep than people wanted to realize that didn't follow the team. They just assumed, well, he went to a Pro Bowl. Yeah, he went to the Pro Bowl because he's a Dallas Cowboy and he's popular and he's going to get a lot of votes. He's a mid-center, if that, B- to C+ at best. And Tyron Smith, when healthy, who went over to the Jets, ironically, you were lucky to get 13 games out of him, and he still played at a high level, but he was missing in action. And so we go out, we get Guyton in the first round with a trade back. Love the move, 100%. I was hoping Fatanu was going to come to us, but thank you, Steelers, for taking him from us.
Savage.
But we get my favorite pick of the entire draft for us, Cooper Beebe from Kansas State. You want to talk about a goon? I mean, an absolute goon. I love those Southern boys, man, who just choose violence every play, and they're just looking to dirt people. They're just looking to put people through the ground. We get him, and trust me, the running game for Dallas was a problem last year. There's a reason why Pollard, he was coming back from injury, but he struggled running the ball and just finding any lanes because he's running into this. He's running to brick walls every play, and his play suffered. But the Cowboy offensive line, as well as the Jet offensive line, which team do you think really helped the cause and with the draft out of our 2 teams?
Oh, man. Both during these, as you mentioned, that's a tough question. I think both teams are in the same position. I think we're going to see these players flourish in a year or 2 now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to take some time. I don't expect to see Pro Bowl type years out the gate, but I think this was a building block for what the foundation is going to look like moving forward. Now, I'll say this. In totality, when you combine the draft and free agency, I think the Jets are in a better situation than the Cowboys.
I agree. Mongo agrees.
We're in a great sense of health. I think the Jets are in a much better situation than the Cowboys. And also, too, one thing that's really hurting the Cowboys as well, their entire division has got better.
That's facts. Don DeMarco, that's facts right there.
Like they had a season. The Cowboys had a win in the NFC.
Yeah.
And since the last game the Cowboys played up until now, personnel-wise, they lost their hold. They went back to Philly.
Yeah.
Based on the moves Philly made via agency, and then of course, the draft. The Giants got better. The Commanders got better. And it's safe to say the Cowboys' best case scenario, they just been stagnant. They haven't gone anywhere. in regards to getting better or getting better. So that's a concern with the Jets. I think the Jets got better as well. I love the Jets draft, but it's all about, keeping Aaron Rodgers healthy. You keep Aaron Rodgers healthy, everything's going to work itself out.
Absolutely. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I mean, the Jets got 2 running backs. Isaiah Davis, I don't know why you guys drafted him, but you guys took another one.
I know why.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it. I mean, but they took my favorite running back of the draft. I wanted Braylon Allen to be a Cowboy so bad. I saw Jonathan Taylor and DeMarco Murray fused like Goku and Vegeta. That's what I saw. And I was excited. I'm like, man, get me some Braylon Allen. And of course, he goes to the Jets a couple picks before us.
And the thing about Mongo, you tell me how you feel, but those 2 guys can coexist when you talk about Breece Hall and Allen.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're big backs, but they have different styles.
Facts.
Breece Hall is a nice the back. Braylon Allen, maybe Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and Hall with the speed.
Sure.
You'll get fire. You get fire and ice. I'm sorry, Breece Hall. Excuse me. You get the fire and ice. Why did you guys take Isaiah Davis?
so let me get your take on this. So there are a lot of people out there giving the Jets a B-, C+, C grade. Even Walter Football had them at a C, which I thought was really low, on the assumption that the point of their draft this year was to get more talent around Aaron Rodgers. U-Go will tell you, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe that. I think the purpose of the draft this year was they just looked at their 22 guys, said, our 22 can beat your 22. They like their starters. So they went down the list and said, where are our most glass jaws? Let's make sure we have a contingency plan. Tyron Smith has an injury history. Let's go get an offensive tackle. Mike Williams has an injury tackle, coming off the injury. Yeah. Let's go get Corley. Even a guy like the kid they got from Toronto, right? Isaiah Oliver, only 10 starts in the last 2 years after that gross 2021 injury, right? Everyone, the one guy they didn't protect really was Vera Tucker, but they traded that 4th rounder to get a 3rd rounder next year, which you know what a 3rd rounder next year is great for? Trading for a veteran right guard when Vera Tucker gets injured.
Tom DeMarco.
So,
goodness gracious.
So if you follow my chain of logic instead, that the whole point of this draft was, in other words, instead of buying weapons, they were buying insurance. Does that change your opinion of this draft at all? And do you think there's any merit to me, or am I just a kooky guy with a hat with my head on it?
I think they're trying to protect themselves. It makes sense because the lack of depth last year when those guys happened, when those injuries happened, Vera Tucker, you know what I mean? With, some of the other injuries, they didn't have enough depth. Clearly at the quarterback position. So you saw what they did. Tyrod Taylor came from the town as well. Another name when you talk about adding experience just in case. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. And for those that say the Jets had a C draft, I disagree. Worst case scenario, I give it a B-. But I think they had a positive draft because it wasn't like they needed a lot. You know what I mean? That's a nice assembled team as we see it. They added more pieces. Clearly, the offensive line has been an issue every year. And I'm for one, I don't know how you feel being a Jets fan. I just don't think the Jets can draft offensive linemen that flourish for them. Every year, you guys take offensive linemen in the first round. Every year. And none of them stand out.
It's just true.
Yeah,
it's true. There's been no lies there, and it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, Mac. I mean, the CBS Sports they gave the Jets a B- for their draft, and they gave the Cowboys a C for their draft, and they gave
and that's generous.
That's
Cowboys actually a C- because I was confused about why not. You're not taking a running back at any given time. Like all these running backs, like.
Well, I think, like the video, subscribe to the channel. 2 things. I think the logic coming into the draft of the front office with Will McClay and Stephen Jones and Jerry was very similar to the Jets. They felt like they have their draft class from last year is going to take a big step forward, and they're banking on that. And on top of that, they're banking on guys to basically increase within house. Guys like Tolbert to step up. Guys like Sam Williams to step up and take the place of guys that have left in free agency from the Washington Commanders. They took like 5 players from us. They're expecting a lot of in-house guys to take that next step, as well as last year's draft class, which was hurt for the most part, to take that next step. And then in terms of the running back, with that trade back that they did in the first round with the Lions. Great trade back, and both sides won tremendously. Cowboys get a starting left tackle. Lions get a starting cornerback, something that desperately needed in their secondary. A big reason why they lost in the NFC Championship, aside from the fact that Dan Campbell was playing blackjack instead of actually coaching.
Savage.
Dan Campbell has a gambling problem. But aside from that, they were in a situation in that trade back when it got to the extra third round. Let's see, we're gonna pick up a center here because we didn't get one in the first. And do we want an impact linebacker or do we want an impact running back? They were handcuffed right there because they didn't have a fourth round because they traded for Trey Lance. They remember that Aaron Jones is still running in Dallas right now from that playoff game, so they went with the linebacker. And they felt that Deuce Vaughn was going to be a year better with a better offensive line, and they felt that they could just dust off the old Ezekiel Elliott Pidgeot or Yugo truck, bring that back home. He'd be better behind that offense. They felt like the running game was going to be better regardless of who they brought in. So that was the logic. We'll see if it blows up in their faces, or we'll see if it works out. That's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of sports.
Yahtzee.
But clearly, that was a big need, linebacker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can kind of move Bell out of that, get him back in the secondary.
Oh my God! Yes.
Safety position.
Can you say that one more time? Marquise Bell not being a linebacker. Lord.
At least you want to have him back on third down situation, not first and second.
No.
What are we doing? That didn't make any sense, Dan Quinn.
No, we had Jaron Kearse and Marquise Bell at starting linebackers in that playoff game, and going in, I was like, this is going to end one or two ways. Aaron Jones is going to look like Jerome Bettis in his prime, or it's going to work out, and we went home early.
Like he just scored again.
So
real quick, because the other thing I think with Dallas you got to consider. I know you love your stats. PFF has Cooper Beebe as the fourth highest rookie O-lineman in terms of pass protection, and so between them giving up on the running back in the draft, plus getting a guy who, I love Beebe. I'm with you. I think he's a steal of the draft, but particularly being building that line to be more pass happy. It's nice to see the Cowboys getting in touch with their identity, right? Yeah. No matter what they claim they want to be, they're built to be a pass-first team.
Facts.
They don't have a running back; they have to be a pass-first team. And so it's nice to see them kind of owning that. When earlier in the offseason, Jerry Jones is saying all these things that just come out as blatant old man lunatic nonsense. It's nice to see them doing something that actually matches their identity.
Savage.
Yeah, for sure. But it's all going to play out. We're going to keep things going. So all things covered. Round of applause one more time for that. Amazing show. It's a joy to be a part of with you and Patrick Peterson, Pat P. He's already agreed to come on my show hopefully next week, and we're super excited for that. But to have you on, Bryant, what made you decide to get into sports media when you were done playing football? Because you could have very easily got into real estate or something
Savage.
or competitive gambling like a lot of former players, but you decided to get into the world of sports media with CBS Sports and with the NFL, and of course now with your own independent podcast. It's going to find a home very soon. What made you decide to get into sports media after football?
I've always loved sports. Football is the first love. I played it my entire life, and my career ended. I wanted to do something that still can fulfill that love, that void of love. And talking about the game was the next best thing. So, it took a lot of hard work and dedication of just starting from the ground up, trying to find ways to get reps, learning how to explain the game to people who may have never been in a huddle, and just continue to be informative and educating while being entertained at the same time. So it's a dream come true, because this is the closest thing I can do to the game that I'm actually playing. I can't play anymore. It's every weekend of the season is here, man. I'm watching college ball, I'm watching NFL ball. I'm watching, breaking down things, talking fantasy football, doing it the whole nine. You know what I mean? So I enjoy it. And as we, attack some of the off-season moves, when you talk about free agency, when you talk about the draft, that just further lets me know we're getting close to football again. You know what I mean? And it gives us something to be excited about. Like next week, I think we get a chance to get the schedule of all the teams. You know what I mean? Another talking point where you can highlight some key games that could determine the divisional crowns and playoff opportunities. So I just love ball, man. I really love ball. I love, being able to talk about it, and it's been a pleasure. I've been extremely blessed to be in this position.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're here with two-time, gotta say it twice, make it sound nice, Super Bowl champion Bryant McFadden, co-host, co-founder of All Things Covered. Mongo, you got a question for him?
Ooh, can I go back? Can I go back to the draft?
Yeah, sure, absolutely, anything.
Listen, we could just do 5 hours on these quarterbacks, and I might hit you at the end with the rapid fire. But you're a defensive guy. We got to go to the other side of the ball here, and I'll give you the broad one to start. Who you have as the defensive rookie of the year coming out of this year?
Wow. Understanding and knowing definitely the first round was dominated by the offensive guys.
Yeah. 23 offensive players. That was an NFL record, by the way. So round of applause. A lot of offensive guys were taken.
Defensively.
Well, while you're thinking,
Oh, you know what?
What do you got?
Byron Murphy.
Ooh,
Junior.
I like that one.
Ooh, yeah.
Texas
kid, right? Guy who went to UT.
Yeah,
Another big boy.
Yeah, he played next to Sweat. Oh, yeah.
Went to Seattle.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm going that direction is because usually we see when you talk about a defensive rookie of the year, it kind of goes to the guy that plays with his hand in the dirt. You know what I mean? Getting sacks, getting pressures, being disruptive. And he has that ability. I think he's probably going to be a day one starter for Seattle potentially. You pair him up with Leonard Williams.
Yeah, who's still there?
He was the best interior guy in the draft.
Yeah.
So I think Byron has an opportunity, clearly got to be healthy. Mm-hmm. But I think he has an opportunity to be defensive rookie of the year.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I thought you were going to be a super homer and say Wilson out of NC State. Now, Brian Broadus, round of applause for Brian Broadus, one of my favorite guys covering the draft for the Cowboys. He compared Wilson to Luke Kuechly. That was his comp. Whoa. That was his comp. And listen, I trust Brian Broadus. The guy's a Super Bowl ring with the Packers. He's one of the best scouts to ever do it. He's the godfather of scouting, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But I'll defer to you, Bryant. How excited are you about Wilson if he's able to overcome those injuries? He had double-digit surgeries in college. That's what scared off a lot of teams. I know it's what scared off Dallas and scared off a number of teams. I loved his tape, and I saw some Luke Kuechly-esque traits in him. How excited are you of him possibly making T.J. Watt, making his job easier with your defense?
I'm overly excited, man, because he has the potential to be the best player in our draft.
Facts.
Because he's the most talented. He was the most talented player the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted.
Even over Fatanu. Even over Fatanu. Your first round pick.
Just talent.
Wow.
Just talent. Because if he was healthy, first rounder for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
You talk about an inside linebacker who's 6'4", 235, 240. Ran 4.
Yeah.
He can rush like an edge rusher. He can be an all linebacker, get sideline to sideline. He can do it all, and he can cover coverage. Mm-hmm. So you don't see that coming around.
Yeah.
You don't see that. So the Luke Kuechly comparison is dead on, but he's faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if he is healthy. Goodness. And then the value that we got him at, I think he was a 98.
Yeah.
Like in the first round, 98. That's good value.
Yeah, great value. I mean, it was those double-digit injuries, double-digit surgeries that pushed him down. But listen, I watched the highlights, I watched the tape, I watched a ton of draft shows, so I was ready to rock and roll. And I was like, man, if this guy didn't have the injuries, he's going top 10. He's not even top 15. He's going top 10.
He might have been first defensive player off the board if he had.
No, 100%. Like guys were talking, and we mentioned it with Brian Baldinger with the episode that we did together about Cooper being like that guy. I was like, man, and I love Cooper. I think Cooper's going to thrive, especially with the Packers, and help that defense. He's one of my top 3
Eagles. He went to the Eagles.
Edrin Cooper.
Oh, I thought you were Cooper DeJean.
No,
Edgerrin Cooper.
No, I'm talking about Edgerrin Cooper. Yeah, Cooper
okay,
DeJean.
gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. From Iowa, he went to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'll get there. I'll get there in a minute.
Yeah,
Don't you? You know I'm trolling soon. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Savage.
But no, I'm with you, Peyton. He's gonna thrive with you guys if you injuries aside. So we got about 10 minutes left, and I think it's about that time for rapid fire. I think it's about that time. You can weave in some more of your questions. Into
Okay,
rapid fire as well.
I can put them into rapid fire questions. I can do that.
Absolutely. This episode of Rapid Fire is brought to you by Bravery Studios, of course.
Bravery up!
The home base, as well as All Things Covered with Bryant McFadden and Patrick Peterson, now streaming wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, U-Goboy merch. U-Goboy merch. Brian, we're gonna hook you up with some of that merch. I need some All Things Covered merch, and I need that autographed jersey. I need one from you, and I need one from Pat P. I need that. I need that for the man cave. That's not negotiable. It's not negotiable. But rapid fire, Mr. McFadden, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's ride. All right, so Mongo, you can kick it off with one of your questions that draft related, and then hit these.
I'll go more rogue as we go. Don't worry. So who's your favorite player who was taken on day 3 of the draft?
Oh,
that's a good one.
Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wasn't even digging for that one. I'll take that.
Dom DeMarco. Press the button again.
Yes.
That's a good one. All right, Mongo, continue.
What's your favorite word of all time? What's your least favorite word of all time?
My favorite word of all time is no question.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Like, someone asks me a question, it can be anything. I can always say no question. Hey man, you going out to eat? No question. Like,
There are no rules in the answers either. I love it.
I love it.
My least. Ooh, that's a good question.
That stumps people. That usually stumps.
I don't want to hear.
I don't want to hear it.
That I don't want to hear.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you know what? It's not one word. I hate when someone tells me we don't have any more of that.
We don't have any more of that?
Yeah. So we don't have any. So, like, let's say I'm in the sneaker store. Hey, y'all get that? No, we don't. We don't have any more. Because you hear that, you're asking a question that's something that you actually want.
Yeah, you want
and
that.
they don't have it anymore.
Like it was there previously.
It was there previously, but it's no longer there. You can't get it. Like you go to a restaurant, you see this on the menu, like, oh man, this is good. I don't have it anymore. Sorry.
Then why is it on the menu? Why are you teasing? Why are you playing with my emotions? Don't play with my emotions, Smokey. God.
Savage.
All right, let me hop in here. One quarterback to win you a Super Bowl. You've got 2 of them, so this is kind of biased by you. One quarterback to win you a Super Bowl with a game-winning 4th quarter drive. Tom Brady, Patty Mahomes, or Big Ben?
Dom DeMarco.
Hey.
Give me some LA Night. Yes. Keep those coming.
Yeah.
Let's go, Senator. I'm taking Ben.
I knew
you
it.
know what I'm taking? I've seen him do it. I saw him do it. He did it.
I should have asked you to wear the rings today, man. But you got the chips behind you, so it's all good. All right, Mongo, your turn.
All right, I'll
go rogue.
I'm staying right in your wheelhouse as I'm staying on the defensive side of the ball here. The Eagles ended up with 2 chances to say they drafted the best cornerback in this draft, right? They got to go 2 for 2 there. Who do you have? Who do you think was the best cornerback in this draft?
Man, I think it was a perfect jam of great players for CB1. I personally had Terry Arnold right there with Quinyon Mitchell.
Ooh, okay.
And the reason why, my personal reason was, I turned on the tape. Yeah, I know Terry didn't run the fastest 40. Mitchell had an unbelievable 40. When I turned the tape, when you talk about a corner that was battle tested in college football a year ago, name me another corner with this resume when you talk about going against players, wide receivers, and doing what he's supposed to do. He faced Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbor, Lad McConkey, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, just to name a few.
That part.
All first-round players.
That part.
and he did what he was supposed to do. And last time I checked, all those guys ran fast 40.
Mm-hmm.
All of them were
Yeah. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Get those CM Punks going. Yeah.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Love it.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's the wrong answer because I really love all of those guys when you talk about who would be the best corner. But that's my reason for taking Terry Allen. You tell me this guy played against those players and did what he was supposed to do? Oh, yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. We got about 3 minutes to go.
I got 2 more I want to sneak in, so let's do this thing.
Cool. Favorite quarterback you ever intercepted?
Oh. My favorite quarterback that I intercepted. I go my first one. My first ever pick was against Byron Leftwich.
Nice.
I love that.
Savage.
I love that.
Savage.
Mongo, real quick.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
It's hard, but it's fair.
Ooh, I like that.
I respect that a lot.
Dom DeMarco.
Yeah. Very nice.
Best restaurant in Broward County. And you're taking me next time I'm down there.
Best restaurant? Oh, my goodness. You know what? Even though it's not in Broward, I'll go 8 and one of my top places I used to love to go to when I lived down there was Prime 112.
Okay, say that one more time. What was it?
Prime 112.
Prime 112? Okay, Prime 112. Okay, all right.
It's kind of like, you know, it's well known right now, so a lot of people go there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At any given time, you can see the who's of who when it comes to a celebrity. But that used to be my spot, like, you know, back in the day when I was down there. That's where I used to go.
All right, if I make a trip down there, I'm either name dropping or we going together. All right, Mongo.
And hopefully that can get you to go.
Yeah, for sure. Mongo.
All right, so it's a best of 7. You and Patrick Peterson meet in the arm wrestling international finals. How is that best of 7 playing out?
I think I win 4-0.
Oh, okay.
Savage.
Now we another Dom DeMarco.
Watch the next episode. You know where this is going.
We're clipping that. I'm not gonna tell Pat Pete ahead of time. We're clipping that, and then he's gonna see that. I love it. And we'll bring it on home. In your group of friends, are you the one that's always late, or the one everyone brings their problems to?
I'm more of the latter.
Everyone brings it.
Yeah.
That feels right. That feels very correct.
Round of applause. That's rapid fire. Round of applause. Bryant McFadden. Bryant, man, this was a joy, bro. Love you so much, bro. Thank you again for the opportunity to join the All the Things Covered family as a producer, as a full-time producer. Where can people find you? And then we'll bring it on home.
My social media name for all my handles is the same, BMAC Sports Talk. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's all the same on there, interactive, talking ball, talking sports. You know, basically talking the same thing you guys are talking, you know, every day. That's why I am. And appreciate you guys for inviting me too as well, man. You're doing a great job, man. Keep doing what you're doing, being creative, entertaining, having fun. That's what life is about, man. Having fun. Finding ways to have fun even when you feel like you shouldn't.
All right, appreciate it.
Love that.
Appreciate it. And then I'll bring it on home here. Mongo, where can they find you?
Mongo 715, currently only on X, but we bet I couldn't make an Instagram when I'm drunk, so the next time we go drinking, we'll see what happens. And I-80 Sports, basketball talk, baseball talk, I-80 Sports. Love you guys.
Oh, yeah, and you know the vibes. U-Goboy88 on everything. IG,
U-Goboy.
Facebook, TikTok. 2 YouTube channels. U-Goboy88. That's all the music. U-Goboy Media. That's
Can't wait.
You can get the merch on there. That's for everything podcast. We got, like I said, we got brand new episodes on the way. U-Goboy Music as well. And also, we're on Apple Podcasts finally. Like, I had some paperwork to fill out that I didn't fill out that I finally got a chance to fill out. The full library, all 45 episodes, soon to be 45 episodes, are now on Apple Podcasts. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the podcast is there. And again, we got Pat P coming up in the next episode as well. But round of applause one more time for that guy on the screen, Bryant McFadden. This was the Draft Super Show. I will send it home like this. That's the belt. Cody Rhodes has that one. That's the belt. Ric Flair has that one. That's Mongo.
Nobody has this guy.
Nobody has this guy. That's the logo. That's Bryant McFadden. That's Steve. That's me, U-Goboy. Love you guys. See you next week. Yahtzee.
Whoa. Ayy, this a vibe, nigga, whoa. Woo. Secure the bag, I need more. Ayy, 3P, Jordan, whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam.
You go, boy.
Yahtzee.